Thank you for letting me know I was muted. I'm live on Twitch too, guys. I'm multi-streaming for the first time in forever. Problem is I don't have my chat up for that, and I need to figure out a way to get that without also watching my stream. I know there's ways. I'm working on it. Oh, look at Skydoodle being on my Twitch. And thank you for subscribing.
Shoot him, Kevin!
Man, I can't hear. Yeah, I can't hear anything. I didn't hear the shooting, but my thing worked, even though you subscribed on Twitch, so that's good to know. Okay. I think we're going good now. No, not a test. Not a test. The title will tell you if it's a test or not.
I miss you.
That was a video on X that was playing. Okay. Give me a moment here, because I know there is a way, and I think it's in the dashboard.
Shoot him, Kevin!
Shoot him, Kevin! What was that? We got subscribing to the channel. Thank you for subscribing on Twitch. I have to figure out a way to differentiate that visually for me, but hey, thank you for subscribing on Twitch. Wait, a subscription on Twitch? I really need to get chat up. No, that was a subscription on... Yeah, see, this is going to be very confusing for me. All right. Pop out chat. There we go. Cool. If I close this, does it close my pop out? No. Awesome. So now I can have this over here. Now, there is a program offered by Stream Elements, so I can have both of them, but it's becoming a bigger pain in the butt because it won't let me have both of my chats on one thing right now because it won't let me scroll in the friggin' menu of the friggin' program. So I gave up trying to use that. Okay. Tig, go ahead and send me your info. I'm going to black out my screen while we get ready for this account takeover. What's up, Titanic? But yeah, seemingly I can multi-stream without any problems. So if you prefer to watch over on Twitch, you can find me over there. I'm live right now. I don't know if there's a huge delay. There is possibly a small one. Not much I can do about it at the moment. You're good, Corrupt. That's basically what I assumed. I need to have a better poker face when I'm reading emails. I need it now, Austin. No, I worked. Thank you. Seemingly everything should be right? So like over on Twitch, it should be a black screen. I want to make sure that I'm right about this. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure everything is right. All right, pull this up, pull this up. How did your Odin work out in Siege? I didn't pay attention, not gonna lie. I mean, the team got smoked, but that's not a surprise. All my free-to-play teams got smoked, so... Okay. I'm just trying to test my own audio issues right now, guys. Is this like corroded or something? Like I don't understand. Oh. That is, I'm so dumb. Oh, no, it doesn't fit. That's why I had to do this, right? No, it fits. But I still have the same audio issues. So it's the headset. Or rather, the cord. Alright, either way, I have hearing now. AI thinks I'm a top 10 content creator. Okay, it just shows you, it goes to show how bad AI is, huh? Olaf Flakes over on Twitch. Did you see my message about the score to beat in? Yeah, I did. I was gonna reply and say cracks knuckles in Trunda, but pretty sure you're just forcing me to manual is basically what you're doing. Sorry if you guys hear any background noise. Cool. All right, so we are on Tig's account. Tig is a member of our community. We will be doing a takeover for Tig today. Tig, why don't you go ahead and put in the chat any specific areas that you would like to focus on while I kind of dig through your account and just take a look at what we're working with ahead of time here. Okay, so you've got Mikage. You've got a Newt and a Marishka. I hate you already. You've got your Lydia. Nice. Okay. You've got a Georgid. Let's take a look at the Georgid real quick. Like the build, I would like to see a little more attack. I'm sure you probably have limitations on where you're getting your attack percent from. But yeah, you're doing all the right choices, just limitations. Hydra and or hard Doom Tower. Okay. Let's keep looking at the roster then. We've got Kymar. Oh, here we go. Okay. So a quick disclaimer. I'm gonna start doing these before every account takeover I do. The whole point for me when it comes to account takeovers is teaching. I want to make sure that players learn the habits and I give ideas. So sometimes it's players learning the habits that maybe don't have the right builds or stuff. For better accounts and better players like Tig here, it's more going to be about like my recommendations and things. But I'm not going to do like a full takeover and build full teams or anything. Mostly just because I want it to be, I don't want to deprive people of those experiences. And I know most people want that. It's totally respectable. It's just quite frankly, like I'm saying, it's a factor of I would be upset. In fact, I have quit games where people have come in and like done stuff for me, and then I don't experience that challenge of it, right? And so I don't want to deprive people of that. But we can talk, theorize, come up with ideas. So first things first, let's take a look at Doom Tower Hard. I just want to double check real quick, and I know that you're a veteran player and you know this, but I assume you're just waiting to pop some you're not leveling champions without that being on. So I just want to make sure you know that. I assume you do. All right, Doom Tower Hard. The infamous Scarab King. Okay, well, I'm going to give you a massive, massive secret. Are you okay if I just go ahead and beat Scarab King for you? That's how confident I am. Okay, so your secret weapon is right here. I don't know if you're aware of his power and what he can do in this dungeon, but you're going to go ahead and get to see it here. We'll bring in some shields, right? Because you need to have shields here. Wave clear. I'm going to assume your son Wukong can wave clear. What is your UDK build? Regen set. Perfect. So he's a little slow, but not too slow. So I think I can utilize him for some shields. Now, the easiest answer is going to be your rings, which, or it's going to be basically blood shield stuff. Is going to be your easiest answer. But we're not even worried about soloing it. We're just looking for a very easy team to complete it. And Skull Lord is going to be that solution. Does he have gear? No gear on Skull Lord. So are you okay if I put a little bit of... He's not very strong. Okay, who's your main nuke for PvP? Who's your wave clear nuke? Which it should be Seer. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so I'm just going to put a bunch of survivability gear. You can always take this gear off. This isn't going to cost you anything for me to put it on there. I'm just going to find some stuff that's leveled. It doesn't really matter. I just need him to have a little bit of survivability, at least one turn of survivability. I'm just going to pick, like I said, stuff that's leveled. I guess I can't do defense for a weapon. Oh, maybe even in a shield set. How funny would that be? All right. So now let's do primary stats, HP percent, or defense percent. Okay. There we go. Didn't quite get the shield set done. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. For a ring, same thing. You probably don't have anything leveled, though. But we'll just put a naked one on there. This has HP percent and HP sub stats, so I'm just gonna do a little teensy bit here. But I mostly just want you to see what Vargal can do, because he's my secret weapon. And I don't have him. Mine's 50. So yours is about the same scale as mine here. So your wave clear is Georgid, Hefrak, PvE is Seer. Okay. Well, your Seer was in the vault. That's why I was confused. I don't think it's going to matter who I use here, so we'll just go Georgid because he's fun. Alright. Try to get you through the waves quickly here. Oh, Georgid might be too squishy. I didn't think about that, but even if he dies, it's fine. He's probably going to die to these waves. Alright. We're going to be in a little bit of a problem because your Mithrala is a little bit slower than your Newt. Okay. See that? And so now you're basically just using shields wherever you can. Yeah. So that's Skull Lord Vargal's passive right there. See, it's best if you can get him the last 2 turns. I brought 2 shielders for the security, right? To have the extra help there. And then you could basically just turn meter control him. Your Mithrala has no books. That's one downside. This is actually a really big problem in this team, is that you don't have a shielder cleanser. So now we're going to be stuck in the cycle. Your Mithrala is also... looks like she's built well. She just got unlucky with the resistance there. But not having books makes this really hard because I can't cleanse off these provokes and these debuffs, right? So now Newt can't do his thing. Hopefully Mithrala doesn't die, but now you know, right? That's the key. That's the most... Does Marishka have shields, though? That's why I was bringing her. I don't know Marishka. JJ, I'm not familiar with any drama in the community right now, to be completely honest. I have not watched any content for Raid Shadow Legends today, but I will say I'm not much of a drama guy. So, but yeah, this guy's a secret weapon when it comes to the dungeon. If we go over to my free-to-play real quick, and I can just show you on the highest difficulty on hard that I beat him on. Level 50. Now, obviously, Void Champion, right? But exact same team of what you're dealing with. The only reason that I'm using, in fact, it doesn't really, do I need her aura? I think I'm using the aura to give more resistance to Mithrala, just to make sure she doesn't get provoked, and put me in that cycle. But the idea is the exact same. You just don't want her to get provoked. Vargal survives 2 rounds and dies, and Newt and Odin do the rest, with Odin being an enemy max HP nuker. So, albeit single hit, but still an enemy max HP nuker. So, yeah, this team works great. He's the secret weapon. That's it, yeah. So we've solved that problem. I would say, for your wave clear in Doom Tower Hard, since you just kind of generally spoke about Doom Tower Hard and not specifics, I don't know how well well built your seer is, but she is an absolute cheat code when you have, going back over to my main account, because I don't have Kymar, right? And you do. But over on my main account, if we go to Doom Tower Hard, I'll go down a couple waves because the ice ones get to be a bit of a problem, but this is my cooldown refresh, and this is turn meter and support, and you'll just get to see what she can do. Mikey, so he doesn't even need Blood Shield. But, like, we didn't lose that fight because of lack of shields. We lost it because Mithrala didn't have books, which Blood Shield Ring would be a replacement for. But the main solution for him was the fact that, is it not Vargal? Is it Vargal? I love how I was like, hey, check out this team, and then I immediately clicked away from it. But yeah, if you can bring a handful of buffs, your Seer is going to do more damage than your Georgid and anybody else as you get in the higher, more difficult waves. She'll one-shot waves. You can easily build. And you said that she is your PvE. I just didn't see her being used in your thing. But that's my main account, even on my free-to-play. I don't use her on my free-to-play because I don't have the gear for her. But seemingly, your account is much older than mine, so I would suspect you have the gear for her. This is my wave clear team on the free-to-play, and it's basically very control-heavy with Wukong doing damage when he can. If I had the turn meter reduction, or not, sorry, cooldown reduction that you have in Kymar, I would be pairing him with a Seer, on and be doing way more damage than what this team can currently do. But this one does clear all the way through Doom Tower hard. So I think you're going to be fine there. I think I built my Trumbor wrong because he does well in Arena instead of a Demon Lord. Well, we can talk about that later. I'm in the middle of a takeover here for Tig. And so let's get back to it. Let me scroll up a little bit and refresh. So we talked about Hydra and or Doom Tower hard. So yeah, Doom Tower hard, the biggest issue that you're going to have on this account is going to be the bosses. That's pretty much it. And I say that because you have a good roster. So wave clear should not be a problem. You have a Kymar, you have a Seer, end of story. Now, books clearly seem to be a problem on your account. And I say that because you don't have a booked out Mithrala. You do have a booked out Marishka, and she does bring shields. So Marishka would be the replacement for you. She would be use her. I don't have a Marishka, which is why I didn't instinctively go for that, right? I'm not that I'm, I was going to say I'm free to play, but my mindset goes to like, who's the free to play cleanser? And that's Mithrala. But yeah, Marishka would do exactly what you're looking to do. She can cleanse off all of those debuffs rather, and then place those shields on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown. You've got her built reasonably well, a little bit slow, if I'm honest with you. Did you go accuracy banner because of the speed roll? Good night, Mikey. Have a good night. Hey, thank you for the $25 super chat. I appreciate it, Tig. I really do. That means a lot. That's the only reason. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page there, because I think you would be much better if you could get resistance banner or something, right? And if, you do have her in life steal. Why do you have her in lifesteal? Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Because you really want her to be fast, high resistance, for arena support, all that stuff, making sure she's not getting stunned, that she can do all of her tricks and stuff. So, 231, I feel like that's reasonable for a support, though. I think, what am I with Mithrala? 283 with my Mithrala. I've got my Odin, 225. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I would like to see it faster. I think because I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that you have her built much faster. There's definitely a chance that I may change stuff, just so you know. But okay, let's talk about this one a little bit here. I like seeing over 300 speed. That's good. Is and again, just asking question, is the accuracy chest only, and you know what, this will tell me. Yes, okay. Accuracy chest only because it's your fastest speed chest. That makes beautiful. Love to see it. I have had so many people build their arbiters for accuracy, and it always cracks me up a little bit. Go ahead and take this to 16. You still could get a trip roll on speed. So don't sleep on that. And then I don't know what you're doing on Sand Devil. Interesting. Oh, but she doesn't revive herself. Yeah, okay. I was trying to see if she would be some form of Godseeker replacement, like in my head. Um, but yeah, she can't revive herself, so that doesn't work. With the nerfs, there's probably a way you can get Mariska to work. Yeah, no Godseeker. Yeah. I feel like you could probably 3-man it with a reviver of some kind. But I don't know. I truly do not know. I've never looked at a team like that, but I would look into that. Let's see. So you've probably seen me talk about this team before, but just in case you haven't, I do want to point out this team to you. Now, the hardest part about this team is getting it to stage 25 because you're going to have to manual through all the stages and you're going to have to take some L's. But I would recommend this team, very easy, stage 25 Phantom Shogun's Grove. Give yourself some extra stat boosts to help you in other areas. So when you finally pull that Godseeker and you go to do Sand Devil, you're going to be able to give her a big HP boost from your accessories, right? That is a good point. Over on Twitch, Flakes pointed out that your Arbiter could potentially use pinpoint accessories, but you don't have any at the moment. The other thing, and so okay, that you know what, this brings us full circle because you said you wanted Hydra help. So now, right? Am I right about that? Hydra? Let me scroll back up. Hydra and or Doom Tower Heart. Okay. Now, as always, I like to remind everybody about the community that we have. I know that now he does it for people in my clan, but Skydoodle is a good Hydra resource, as is Cheap Vodka. But let's take a look at what you normally run. Okay. So let's look over the roster here. I'm going to go to your index. Beautiful. Okay. Build an Ugo. So, Ugo. Yeah. Ugo is going to be your secret weapon in Hydra. And it seems crazy. I'm going to go over to my free-to-play here, just so I can kind of demonstrate it, because your Ugo isn't built. But over here, I can do hard. I do normal to get a higher score. But I can do hard, and if I, am willing to rerun it a couple of times, it'll work out for me. But over here on this account, ignore the damage dealers that I bring. I think you're probably bringing better damage dealers. This is meant to be a focus on Ugo. I would say that you should get your Mithrala booked for Hydra, because you want to have that Hex on a 3-turn cooldown at the very least, and the Cleanse. Now, while you are bringing Mariska as your Cleanser, Healer, Reviver, I would still consider bringing... Well, you are bringing Mithrala. If you were only bringing Mithrala for Hex, I would actually say you might want to consider, and we can take a deeper look at your roster when I go back to it, but you might want to consider bringing... It's going to come to me. One moment. you might want to consider using Curse Gear instead. If we look back at your team, well, we're going to make some changes. I'm going to recommend some different changes to this team. So probably not going to go with this, but if you have an AoE champion like Artak would be a good choice, but you might have him in like solo builds. We wouldn't want to mess with that too much. But because your Mithrala isn't booked, that's kind of why I'm leaning in saying that if she's your Hexer, until you have this booked, you might want to consider bringing a cursed set. Yeah, Thor is going to be big damage for you in Hydra as well. A little more gear dependent, Thor is. And I just want to make sure that we're looking completely. Yeah, so Mithrala has to be in your team unless you use Curse. So, if we go back over to my account really quickly, I'm only doing this to demonstrate why Ugo is so strong. Yeah, she's in the team, then you need to book her if she's in the team. So you'll see my Mithrala goes first on my account, right? We get the Hex out there. Get the speed buff. He's my provoker, which you need a provoker, and that's one thing that you're lacking on your team there. So Ugo solves a lot of problems for you that are going to come from the changes I'm going to recommend here. But this right here is the secret. So block buffs and decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. She also brings a mini cleanse and a heal. So you'd have 3 cleansers on your team, which makes it even easier for you to ignore the fear head, right? This team struggles from that. You already saw Godseeker missed a turn because she got feared, right? Why is this so good? Well, the poison head, which is not part of this rotation immediately, but if it were out there, the provoke means that he doesn't clear these buffs, and when the poison head goes to place all the poison clouds, they get blocked. But furthermore, the head of mischief, she's going to try to steal somebody's stuff. We're going to let her take her turn, okay? I don't know why I assume it's a girl, but the head of mischief is going to take someone's stuff. She just stole a counterattack, but what happened to it? Where did it go? Nowhere, because block buffs, right? I'm going to say this. Look, I just watched Saf's video about where the misconstruing of that new shield limiter code came from. A really great watch. I recommend all of you watch it if you had concerns about Wixwell being nerfed. But I will say this. While they did not outright say that there were any nerfs for Wixwell, it definitely feels like something might be coming down the way. So I just want to make sure everyone's informed when it comes to making decisions about building a Yannicka Wixwell team. But obviously you don't have Wixwell, which is unfortunate, but still, for future reference, I wanted to get that out there. Now, here we are talking about block buffs. So block buffs, that's another reason it's so good. Furthermore, when this guy takes a turn and puts ally protection on the whole field and puts reflect damage on him, block buffs comes into play. Then there's the head. I call it the exploding head. I think it's I don't remember their names. I never remember their names, but it's the head that after 15 hits it goes boom, and then it places buffs on itself, one of them being reflect damage. Block buffs will stop that. Ugo is for regular Hydra teams when you're not doing crazy Trunda, crazy gear shenanigans. Regular old Hydra teams, Ugo is a cheat code because she brings 2 things: decreased defense and block buffs. And so I just want to emphasize that counters 3 different heads outright. Block buffs does. Okay? And so that's why I'm saying that you would want to bring Ugo. Now, if we go back to your team, you don't have a provoker. So what's going to happen on your team, even if you bring Ugo, those block buffs are just going to get cleansed away. So you need a provoker. Well, you happen to have a really good provoker, and it's funny because this guy is basically becoming your entire account now. Because we talked about him helping you in that one area, the Doom Tower, and now he can be your provoker as well. Now again, not booked. This is not good unless booked, but it books down to a 2-turn cooldown, which means the only thing you need is basically a 2-to-1 ratio for him. You just need him fast enough to go 2 times before the head that can be provoked, and he can lock down that head, and it'll never get a turn. But also needs to be fully booked, which seemingly is a little bit of an issue for you, and I only say that because there are many champions you have that are not booked, but at the same time, there are many champions you have that are booked, which is very good. Okay, I see what you did there. I like your booking strategy, by the way. Is Vizix booked for you right now? She is booked. She has a 1-turn provoke on a 3-turn cooldown, though. That's the tricky part. Now, she does bring your decreased speed, which is very good. I do like Vizix. I think if you build a Vizix very fast, you'd probably need faster than 213 speed. And you get some turn meter support within the team, you can probably get her to be your provoker. But I do think that Skull-Lord Vargal is the better provoker on your roster. I do want to double check and see if we have any other provokes. Oh, Bivald. Pretty sure he's better than everybody I just said. So his provoke can be placed even if it's a weak hit. Oh, at Molly. Molly's even better. So, okay, you have really good roster. Okay. I would go Molly over Bivald now, but I want to say this with a big fat disclaimer. I've never had a Bivald, so I can't speak to it too much. I will say that right now Bivald is leveled. But he has 2 ways of provoking. So you have a provoke on the A1, and then you have a provoke on the A2. But keeping those buffs from being cleansed is a really big deal. So you really want to bring a provoker to prevent that from happening. And Bivald is a great provoker, and he's currently 6 stars. Why do I like Molly better? And again, this is just me, just my opinion. I don't know what officially, what other content creators say, but I like Molly more than Bivald. Granted, I've never played Bivald, so maybe I would like him if I had him. But what I love about Molly is that when she gets hit, she fills turn meters. So you're going to
Shoot him, Kevin!
Oh, I can't even read it. Oh, wait, was that a classic? Oh, yeah, you did the sound alert, Skydoodle. Thank you. But yeah, I love the turn meter fill that she gets. She can actually hit really hard on her A1. Just make sure she has enough accuracy and speed to keep this provoke up. But what I love about this provoke, books down to a 3-turn cooldown, but there's a 50% chance that is a 2-turn provoke. That is huge for Hydra. Very, very early on my main account, she was my provoker. Until Archer Queen, she was my provoker. Archer Queen was the only replacement that I found that would work better. Wixwell is really good. Obviously, you don't have him. Wixwell's A1 is really good, but the rest of Wixwell's kit is a little annoying for Hydra sometimes because his counterattack can be stolen, which isn't fun, right? She's also a reviver. It's a single target revive, but she solves your exact problem that you just messaged in the chat about Marishka. She is your Marishka reviver. Marishka revives the team, she revives Marishka, and you're back to normal. You're back to fighting, right? So now you have a really great concept for a team, right? So once you get to Molly, she gives you a lot of what you need. We don't need, I'm just going to take out people that we don't need, right? Ninja, really, really good damage for Hydra, but you've got a lot of damage dealers right now, so we got to make some room here. I do think Ninja's probably better than Newt, so we'll do that, but I will say that if Ninja isn't cutting it when it comes to clearing heads for you, then you could consider going back to Newt for the short term. But I would definitely go Ninja. Artak is really, really good because of HP burns and burn activation. So you're going to get a lot of damage out of Artak, I think. So it's a matter of who you want to book. I would say in my order of provokes, Molly, is it Vargal? I'm going to say Vargal. And then Bivald. But I don't know Chronom's kit at all, if I'm being honest with you. It's a shame you don't have... You got Togron. It's a shame you don't have Wixwell. Okay, but back to kind of what I was saying. Yeah, so if you put in... So we put in Ugo, right? And then Molly. Now you've got a pretty decent kind of starting Hydra team. Now the most success that I've seen with Ninja has been with Lady Mikage. You could consider Lady Mikage in this team, and I would definitely consider her in some of your other teams. Mikage and Ninja together pair very, very well. And Mikage brings a lot of buff extension, debuff extension, which is really, really good for keeping that block buffs up, right? So I do think that you would have good luck there, and then her A1 will trigger Ninja's A1, so he's just always hitting as well. Would you say with gear situation, Ascension is holding me back, or just no? It's your gear seems reasonable. I can't really speak to why you don't have gear. It doesn't look like you're too selective. Granted, I haven't gone through it. The reason, the things I see most that cause for a shortage of gear are either an ineffective playstyle or over selection of gear, like too critical. I had somebody that basically didn't keep anything below 6 stars, and that is not the move, in my opinion. I think that you are doing a good job of keeping gear. You understand the basics. You've got speed on your boots. You've got percent stats on your lower third. I haven't looked at Ninja or Artak yet, so we'll take a look at them, but I wanted to give you the understanding that you're looking for here, right? So a Provoker is going to extend the fight a bunch. And I'm going to be real with you. Here's what's probably going to happen because your gear is reasonable. You are probably going to feel like Marishka is not needed. I'm going to be real with you. And I say that because Ugo can heal. And Ugo is epic books, and she can heal and have a mini cleanse on that heal. So you could bring Ugo to heal. You have a revive in Molly, and you have a full cleanse and shield from Mithrala, who you're going to book up anyways because you need to get that Hex out consistently. Now, Hex increases your damage in the fight, but it also, very important, allows you to hit the Head of Mischief. That's the one that steals the buffs, right? If that eats somebody and you can't hit it, there goes your team. You lose one, you've lost them all, you know? There's no way to get that one back, so you're pretty much done at that point, you know? Eventually, the whatever role they filled is now unfulfilled, and that will create holes in your team, right? So I think that this is the best offering for a team, but I would not be upset at somebody saying, well, I'm going to take Artak out and put Mikage in there. Or, I'm not saying to do this. I am not saying to do this because of your gear limitations and the fact that you don't have books. Your best shot right now is with Marishka. But if we go back to my free-to-play, I'm bringing... And the only reason I'm bringing this, the only reason is because my bunny is very, very squishy. And the bunny dies more often than he should. And that's because I built him as a glass cannon. That's my decision. I could, you know, swap out an attack ring for a defense ring, you know, try and find some gear that has more defense percent, you know, or HP percent. I could make him tankier. I just bring, because I don't have like a really solid reviver and healer other than Arbiter, but I have my increased attack from, you know, Arbiter is kind of redundant in this team. She would only be a reviver. I also get buff extension out of Godseeker. So I do get something out of her, but this is a wasted slot on my team. Once I get better gear for the rabbit, or maybe I replace the rabbit with somebody else, who knows, then more champions can come in here and fill in some varying roles. But I would like this to be a decreased speed champion, if possible. That's just a flaw on my account for the time being. And I think a future solution to that is Bambus, which is somebody that I've been long wanting to build. But we do get decreased speed, and this does an AoE hit. I could put him in Curse Set, and now all of a sudden I'm freeing up a lot of spots on my roster, right? So you really want to you're trying to make room to fit all of these different champions. But this is the team that I go with. But if I was to show you my main team, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say, now, while you are probably a more casual player than me, because you've missed a lot of fusions and stuff, this is my main team. And yes, this is a Trunda team, but no, well, there is a healer, but no revives, no, you know, like you get to a point where you know you're not going to die on this Hydra fight. And progressing in Hydra is very important, not just from a clan perspective, but from a gear perspective. So I think the thing that gets slept on a lot from Hydra is the gear. Now, everyone loves Stone Skin, and I know how good protection gear is, but I think a lot of people sleep on how good protection gear is. It doesn't have to be a nuke Mikage. I disagree with that. I think Mikage can be fine, but we're talking about normal level Hydra, right now. So we're not, and we're talking about a really survivable tanky team that we know is going to go 1,500 turns, theoretically, right? That's the key. You're trying to get 1,500 turns, and then you're going to try to get 1,500 turns with, you're going to optimize that 1,500 turns, and you're going to try and squeeze out every bit of damage every single time. Now, you may not get to 1,500 turns. You may not even know how many turns you get to, right? But you want to get as far as you can and then start optimizing that. Why didn't I get farther? Because I'm too slow, which is something that people don't think about, right? If you're too slow in Hydra, then Hydra starts eating your champions before you can free them. And you end up with like 2 or 3 champions eaten at the same time, and that's the end of your run. So as you speed up your run and champions get the pace at which champions get eaten spreads out, you end up with that not being an issue, right? And so that's just, it's a future thing, a future goal. If we're just kind of focusing right now, let's talk about Hydra and why Hydra is so important. It's not like protection gear. I slept on this gear for probably the first year of my account. Because I was like, you don't hear people talk about it. Or back then, you didn't hear people talk about it. Everybody hated Stone Skin, UDK in Stone Skin, Mortu Macabre in Stone Skin, every champion in Stone Skin. People hated Stone Skin. And you'd see a million videos about it. This was probably 3 years ago now. This was UDK coming out. Deliana is when I started playing. But this gear is so freaking good, especially in Hydra. First of all, resistance HP, but this 12% speed is clutch. I don't think it's this Arbiter, but I'm going to check anyways. This is my main account. Yeah, so check this out. This is the fastest that I can make my... Sorry, this is 4 speeds slower than the fastest Arbiter I can make on my account, and she is in 5-piece Stone Skin. Now, why is this so clutch? Because I'm getting speed out of my accessories, not just my artifacts. This is what protection can do for you, and obviously getting the accessories means getting a score greater than 35 million on Hydra, so you have access to a chest. Ideally, if you can, try to aim for 145 million. Thank you. I think it's 145. It might be 135. But this gear allows me, obviously I have good speed rolls on it too, but this allows me to go faster than if I had 6-piece speed. Think about that for a second. This is optimized. Like, I put this in the Hell Hades thing, and this is the fastest champion that it's... Well, I'd have to take gear off of one other person to go, like, 4 speed faster, and I chose not to do that. But, oh, let me tell you the speed. Sorry. This is 359 speed. So think about that just for a second. I'm going to go to my free-to-play account. My free-to-play account, I'm in 6-piece speed and 2-piece pinpoint. And I'm at 325. And when we come to your Arbiter, right, you've got a double speed roll or higher on everything. And we're at 306. So just imagine, maybe you have a triple speed roll on something else. Maybe it's a piece of protection. Let's take a look. Substat speed. Well, these aren't rolled. But, maybe one of these pieces has a double or a triple speed, and then you put on 2 protection accessories. You don't have them. And now all of a sudden, you are another 12% speed faster, right? And so, it's a really, really good set for speed. But further still, if we consider the rest of the benefits of the protection set, chance to place a protected buff. Very, very valuable. Maybe less so for Arbiter, but a protected strengthen buff, right? I'm not saying to put Ragash in there, but you've got 3 buffs out of Ragash that could be protected, right? Those protected buffs are a big deal. And if we go back to my main account, I have 2 champions in full protection on my account. So the first one, and you just saw him highlighted in a video of mine recently, and how impactful he is to my account, and I cannot find him, so we're just going to look up his name. So we have Emic. So Emic is in full protection. 240 speed, so not great, but he's putting out protected buffs left and right. You obviously don't have Emic, but keep that in mind. The reason Emic is in full protection and why I'm willing to sacrifice speed on him is because he's empowering my Trunda. You don't have a Trunda, but just imagine how much damage your ninja could do with a support that's putting buffs onto your ninja and increasing his damage by 5% for each buff placed. Allies deal 5% more damage per each buff placed by the wearer, right? So you're going to get a lot of extra damage in Hydra once you're able to do this. This is, again, why Hydra, and granted, Hydra, in this case, I'm saying Hydra is important because it's making you better at Hydra, but this will also carry over to other areas of the game, as I demonstrated in my most recent video. Furthermore, you can do things like a really slow stone skin. Like I'm 107 speed in 6-piece stone skin here. Sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Sorry, 7-piece stone skin even. Super high resistance and really, really hard tank to get around, right? Very frustrating to deal with. Who's my other champion in full protected? Oh, yeah. No. It was my second archer, I think? No. Oh, I know who it is. It's Ancora, who I actually may reconsider and rotate this out of her. But again, full protection. Now, in this case, I'm able to get 316 speed out of Ancora and 328 resistance. So she quite often doesn't get hit by a lot of stuff. And I have different reasons why I built her that way. Just double checking because chat's been a little quiet. I am still live, right? No knock on chat. I know that I'm on a bit of a tangent here. I just wanted to confirm for my own mental. Okay. So, I just wanted to double down about why Hydra is important, because very early for me, and even as recent as a few months ago, people wanted to do their 6 million or their 36 million damage, and then I'm good. I don't want to let this run for another hour. Who cares? Now it matters a little bit more, right? No, you guys are good. Yeah, you guys, like I said, you guys are good. I'm glad you guys are listening. I just wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't talking to nobody. So, but as far as Hydra goes, we want certain things in our team. We want to be fast. We want provoke, block buffs. I know that burn is good, and it can work in the same way if you don't have a block buffs. But generally, and again, this is generally and also a little bit my opinion, it feels like a lot of teams have gotten away from HP burns in general. We're talking higher end teams, so I'm not at all saying that you should not build burners. But I don't run burners on any of my teams, on any of my accounts right now. Maybe that's to my detriment in some cases, but it feels like, and this is just how I interpret it. There's no official rule book on this, but I interpret it as it's shifted a little bit away from burns and a little bit more towards block bot. Well, actually, it's completely shifted to just ignoring the mechanics and killing all the heads, if I'm being honest with you. So, and it's also shifted away from enemy max HP as well, which is why you should consider Thor. I believe you had him. I thought, yeah. Thor is going to hit really hard. I would consider building him much like you have your other nukers built once you get the gear. In Savage gear. Ah. Hmm. Yeah. You're not kidding about gear. So I'm going to tell you right now, especially since you're a spender. Yeah, Sulfurion is really the only burner that we see a lot of. Hey, what's up, Hammer? I think the gear issue is probably the casualness of your play. Because you have, I mean, I don't know how if you're over cleansing or under. Let's look at your dungeon teams. Do you do hard? Yes. Good. Love to see it. Is that a consistent hard, by the way? That sounds dirty. With food. Love it. That's fair. I don't either. I just wanted to know level of consistency. So, if these are built reasonably well, you could drop the Lydia and bring Hex. Let me show you real quick. It doesn't look like you need it because of the cooldown refreshing, but that's for the fusion. Mithrala, Seer, Newt. Okay. All right, cool. No worries. I just wanted to make sure you understood. You bring Mithrala, so by Hex, you can hit the boss, kill the spiderlings, and you double your damage, right? That's the key that I wanted to make sure that you understood, and it sounds like you do based on your team. So we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. Beautiful. Yep, all of this is good. Love seeing the Kymar Seer. Remember, this can work in Doom Tower as well. Kymar and Seer will be great in Doom Tower. I don't know what your Seer build is because she's vaulted, but yeah, Savage. I mean, we'd like to see that crit rate to 100%, but I'm guilty of that too. Great crit damage, great masteries. Love it. Love everything about your build there. No, I think Seer's fine. Seer is actually, in some ways, easier to build. Hang on, I have to send one really quick message. That sucks. It screws up all my chats and how everything had everything level. All right, so gear is honestly the biggest fault of my account. For something like Wukong's chest, for example, you understand the flaws and where you should be what you should be doing and where you should be getting your stuff from. My guess is based on your gem count, you probably don't run this stuff enough. If it were me, I would probably do some iteration. Yeah, you don't need Lydia. So this is a common thing I see with enemy max HP nukers. You don't need like decreased defense will help, but you don't need it. You're going to I'm very sorry, guys. An old friend just texted me, and I had to respond. But enemy max HP has a cap on damage. Decreased defense will help you reach that cap sooner, but a certain point with certain builds on your champions, you're not going to need that decreased defense. Yeah, Cryodan in that team is good, but you're also going to want ally attacks. So the problem that I run into is not having the wave clear, but an older version of this used to use a seer. And then obviously I have double newt. Now this newt recently got booked, so that's really the only reason. But thank you for enjoying a great ad-free experience thanks to my Twitch Prime sub. Good to hear, Skydoodle. That's exactly what you had trouble with. Yeah, wave clear is going to be a big problem, and there's a few ways that you can combat it. So for me, on my account, I bring Cryodan to freeze the wave. It makes the run take way longer than it should. And then I use ally attack just to completely control the boss. It helps that Cryodan can come in. I personally really want to switch back to your Carl, but build him in an ignore defense set of some kind so that he can do more damage. The problem with your Carl is he doesn't have that inherent ignore defense. But yeah, he doesn't have the inherent ignore defense that you would like this that you get from some of the other damage dealers like Wukong and other champions of that way. But my thought was like 2 ally attack like Mikage, and I have Longbeard, Krila, Fat Man. Actually Fat Man is probably better. Yeah, if you're farming overnight, this is a perfectly fine team. It's 100%. Cryodan freezes the waves. It takes forever. You go to bed, you click run, and then you wake up the next day. Yeah, and so Skydoodle's posting this over in Twitch. You guys can't see it, but he's running. And I'm gonna do this same team. In fact, I'm gonna take Cryodan out and put the rabbit in, and the rabbit is for wave clear, but it has is it a triple or a yeah, triple hitter on the A1. And because he speeds himself up so much, he's going to cycle through this and get that shield down quickly and allow your newts to then control enemy or control the turn meter. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to use Razzlebark. I'm saying if you can find a nuker that has a really good single target attack as well, that could be your solution. But at the end of the day, I'm crowd controlling the waves with Mikage. So just to give you a team setup on here. I'm immediately swapping to her second form on wave 1, and I'm just spamming her stun every time, and then Cryodan's also freezing everything. So that's why I like Yakarl. Yakarl will speed it up, even though he'll have less hits than Cryodan does. Yakarl for me will speed it up. Because he does hit harder from an AoE perspective. He's not booked at all, which is a problem, and his gear is very, very weak. But once I get him booked and I can get these this big AoE hit down to a 4-turn, that's still not great. But yeah, if I could go like a really high, on my main account, I think I'm gonna go with Razzlebarg because Razzlebarg brings the multi-hitter A1, but also can bring the nukes and gives me increased speed, which will help my team too. So if you can bring a decreased speed, that'll help you with the boss. But yeah, what I do want to go back to my point real quick though, because I don't want to stray too far away from this concept. Because there's a cap on enemy max HP. Because there's a cap on enemy max HP, right? I think, well, no, because Ugo's in that team, so I can't really show you. But with the right gear, you're hitting that cap, more than likely. And even if you're not, you're probably not losing that much damage. You're probably close to that cap. And so bringing Lydia would seemingly make you do more damage, right? But you can only do more damage up to that cap. And so Lydia may actually be doing nothing for your team. And this is more of a not a Fire Knight lesson and more of a Raid Shadow Legends lesson. Okay, so she's your seer buffer. Got it. That makes perfect sense too. But I just want to make sure that you know that in the future moving forward, if you are doing enemy max HP champions, you can get away from that decreased defense weakened champion. That's going to be more for your other regular nukers, not ones that do not have a cap. So I just wanted to give that little tidbit out there. Now, some enemy max HP nukers don't have as much of a multiplier, and therefore they would still heavily benefit from that decreased defense. Like my Acrisia, I can't hit max damage unless it's a dead head in Hydra with Acrisia, but Newt hits max damage on everybody because my Newt is just built to the 9s on this account. So back to my main account. And I only say that because it makes sense to me when I swap, but for you guys, it's not obvious. All right. But yeah, you'll see 277% crit damage, and he is able to hit max damage pretty much every time. So hypothetically, if one were to spend money on energy rather than spending my gems, where would you throw it to progress my account overall? My biggest recommendation for you moving forward is fusion or not. whether you're going for the fusion or not, whatever tournament is going on, do that dungeon. The one exception I would give you would be Ice Golem. If you really don't want to do Ice Golem, don't do Ice Golem. Mountain Grizzly, go ahead and head to the Discord and just post in the Discord that you're looking to get a takeover, and I'll message you back and we'll schedule it. It's probably going to be next week because I don't stream on the weekends. That's time for my family. So next week we can schedule a takeover. So there's a link to the Discord right there, and then you just have to go to the account takeover channel. But anybody that's a member, I can get them set up with an account takeover. So yeah, I basically, if I need gear, and you kind of get a feel for it, right? Like I'm a very big proponent of one champion at a time. So we're going to, just to kind of answer your question, and I apologize, I'm a little long-winded tonight, but I don't know how else to be me. I want to build Thor. I don't have the gear I need to build Thor right now. Why is that? I have a really good account. Why don't I have the gear to build Thor? Well, I want him in Savage gear, which means we have a Fire Knight tournament going on right now. I'm going to run Fire Knight. I'm going to double dip. I'm getting good Savage gear, theoretically, and I'm getting resources for my game. So I'll spend my, you've heard me talk about this in the past, if you watch the channel, passive energy gain. I'll use that in Fire Knight. I tend not to do that because I don't have the filter set up on RSL Helper, which is annoying. I'm not going to go... Actually, I will go for the fragments because I can use them for High Mother mod. But this is good. I mean, not great resources, but reasonable amount of resources here. And who knows? Maybe you happen to just do more than what somebody that's going for the fusion does, and you get 3,000 points. And oh, by the way, you also got 6-piece Relentless gear and an Ancient Shard, right? So there's no harm in double dipping, and that's my policy. That's how I go about it. Furthermore, look for bonuses and boosts. So we just had a ×2 boost for speed gear from Dragon. My extra energy, because I really need speed gear, because I'm trying to speed up Lori. I want Loriaka to be as fast as my Arbiter if possible. But right now, because of all the champions that are locked that have good speeds, I can't even get close. I can get like 300 speed, but then Loriaka, she needs to be faster than my my new guy. Bolent. And so, and he's quite fast, as you can see, 322 speed. So it's redundant. It's useless if she's not faster than Bolent, and she's not. So I need her to be, I just want her to be pure speed, and I can't do it right now. So I need to farm speed gear or supersonic, which I haven't built any of it. So I need to look into that more accurately. But the point that I'm trying to make for you, so you're farming 4 gear, get your hard teams to 100% win rate. They don't need to be fast. Okay? So, case in point, on the main account, this is a 3-minute team. I farm on stage 6, by the way. Stage 10 is unlocked. It's super inconsistent. I don't want to farm there. But stage 6 is 100%. So I run this team, and it takes me 3 minutes to run. I can do that overnight when I'm not paying attention to the game and get Savage gear potentially, right? A little inside baseball here, and this is not what you are not ready to do this. Don't do this. You need to be keeping your bad sets because you need good filler pieces to make your sets work, right? Imagine having a 6-star immunity piece with a quadruple roll into speed, or a quadruple roll into crit rate, right? That might make a build for you and allow you to use your weaker Savage gear that doesn't have crit rate, but might have crit damage and attack percent, right? So you need to be more selective and have those filler pieces, which the reason I'm back on my account here is to show you how those filler pieces work, right? It's only a double roll into speed here, but it's actually the fastest not equipped speed substat gloves on my account. See? Right? So that's a filler piece, and that allows me to get this protection. Right? Now, I had some pieces that I could potentially level. Sorry, we want to keep that on and then do this. Take off equipped. So, like, if I leveled this and I get a double speed roll, which I didn't, I only got a single speed roll. But even then, that's 11. This is 16 plus 8. So maybe I get another speed roll on it. Maybe this one was to roll, right? Because that would... Ooh. That's probably faster. Oh, it doesn't matter. I only have... yeah, it's not faster. But that's still a good piece for Loriaka now. So, anyways. These filler pieces are going to be really, really good. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Speed gloves. Like if I had... I don't think I have one. Yeah, I don't. But if I had an instinct piece, right? That had... Not instinct. Pinpoint. If I had a pinpoint piece, and then I could use a pinpoint banner and get extra speed potentially. So different energy rates. I think I'll gear farm hard for like a couple. Yeah, gear farming hard is where you want to be because your rates of getting better gear are higher. It is more energy, but we're not looking for efficiency, right? Quite frankly, you're a spender, right? You can afford to be a little inefficient and make up for that inefficiency by spending $1 or $2. Now, I would recommend using these gems. I cannot fathom a world in which you need 5,000 gems. Other than potentially saving for like big ancient shard pools or something of the sort. So, you know, that's just me though. I'm a very low spender when it's not Archer Queen time. But yes, I would focus on farming the dungeons and then make sure that you're also capitalizing on your forge passes. These are really good sets, and these are great filler pieces or filler sets too. They're guaranteed 6-star pieces. You could get really good rolls on them. You can craft them, which is going to get you points in Clan v Clan. If you're a spender, these are worth spending on. I don't anymore, but that's because, like I said, I'm a very, very low spender. Basically just a gem pack, and then any money that I would have spent in the game is now going toward primal shards. But again, that's a personal choice, right? Make sure you're... Oh, that's the other thing about Hydra that you might not be considering is Clan Gold. So here you have a legendary book absolutely free, but you can't capitalize on it because you don't have Clan Gold. Higher levels of Hydra are going to get you more Clan Gold. I want to show you real quick. This is going to drop some jaws, probably. I have 40,000 clan gold. And by the way, I already purchased my... Oh, you had a bunch and you... Okay. Cool. Gotcha. Okay. Well then, I'm shutting up. All right. Yeah, but still. I think you're doing great. You have a really good sense for the game. I think it's those minor tweaks and gear farming is just where you need to be doing it. Now, I'm going to be quite honest with you. The reason that I have the gear I have on my account is because every couple of weeks, I'm farming all 4 dungeons and I'm spending 3,000 energy in each of them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, every fusion, because I pretty much do them all, I'm spending 3,000 energies worth in whatever dungeon of the week is, and getting those points. Don't sleep on the Odin dungeon either, by the way. Great rewards, and the gear from the Odin dungeon is really good. Pinpoint gear is really, really good. It'll fill in a lot of voids on your gear right now. It's going to give you great filler pieces. What I love so much about Pinpoint as filler gear, by the way, is that you get stats from one piece. All right, so you haven't been farming it at all, have you? Okay. So we'll go to my account because I know that I have a ton of Pinpoint on here. It's just easier for me to use a visual aid when I talk. So let's say that you're filling out, like for example, those gloves that I have on my Arbiter, right? They're triple speed or double speed roll, right? If I could do that with Pinpoint, I'm also getting 20 accuracy. Like, anytime you can do a filler piece that is not part of a 9-piece set, and you get that extra 20 resistance or the extra accuracy or HP, I think from Stone Skin, right? Yeah, like 8% HP from one item. Okay, it's a very, very easy dungeon, and because you have Seer. That's basically what it boils down to. Yeah, it's basically this team, except instead of Georgid, you're putting Seer. And the reason being is she strips the buff that Odin puts on his whole team. And does damage with it, right? So basically this team. I'll show you. So I did it up to stage 30, but it's wholly inconsistent. So I farm at stage 25. You'll see I've had some good runs. I bring protected buffs in this particular one. I don't even think I need Ancora in this team, by the way. I really don't know why I'm... I don't have Odin on this account. By the way, Odin turns out is really good against Odin. Alright, but... we'll just run this real quick. And so, Armand's does Armand's things, right? This is my enemy max HP nuker. Pretty obvious, right? But that's what's really cool about Seer, is that she does enemy max HP damage. Boom. There you go. In fact, I bet you if I drop Ancora and Armands, I can actually... I don't even need him, I don't think. Do I need a cleanse for the stun? Yes. So I would bring him, but I would bring my 2 cooldown reduction champions and basically be able to cycle Seer and Newt all day long. Because you can see, like, there is a flaw. Like, this team is not perfect. I'm not tuning this team. I don't really care about this boss that much, so I'm not fine-tuning it or anything, but I want to make block buffs, make sure block buffs is out there. Block debuffs, rather. And then Seer just does Seer things. She strips the buffs. I just need cooldown reduction. That's why I originally brought Ancora, but I'm willing to bet if I just make this quick substitution, I might still need Armands, but I think Seer's going to do so much damage so quickly. Alright, let me just take them out and just throw in my reductions. Okay. Why would you start with that? Okay. It needs to be... Like, I need to set up a thing for it. Because he needs to... So, she would not use this first. We'll just buff herself. He needs to use the block debuffs first. Newt needs to use his hit first. We can go with the debuffs. We will do this one. She doesn't need to do that yet, so she would open with that. Alright, so they're going to take some turns. Yeah. I'd have to play with this a little bit, so that's not going to cut it for now. I do think I need Armands' stun. But you don't need to go up to stage 20. Like, you can farm at a different stage and be completely fine. I also don't need to run both of them either. Here it is. Okay. So I just don't want to lose it. No, yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead. We've been talking for, an hour and a half now about the account. So hopefully I've given you some insight. Hopefully I've given you some direction. I think you're doing great things with your account. I'll go ahead and upgrade these for you. Make sure to take him out. I don't want to put people in that you're not ready for, but you are doing a great job. What's your... I think, yeah, once you get your gear going, you may have already been in silver in the past and probably just ranked down, if I had to guess. But yeah, you'll be able to get up there and get the silver rewards, gold 5, love to see it. Yeah, you're doing a great job. I think approaching Hydra and understanding its importance is going to be very, very beneficial for you. And I think you're going to see that those pieces of gear are going to become filler pieces in a lot of your stuff, and you're going to start getting extra speeds, you're going to start getting protected buffs, you're going to start getting extra stats, and really, really prove to be very powerful. So, all right, let me log off of your account, and then I'm actually, I hate to say it, guys, I'm going to end stream. And the reason for that is because for the last hour that I've been talking, this beautiful T-bone steak, let me try to get it on camera better. There you go. Has been sitting there asking me to eat it. And I don't really want to eat it while I'm live, if I'm honest with you guys. So, I did the account takeover tonight. I wanted to record a video at the end of this, but I think I'd rather enjoy my steak and then catch up with my friend as well. So just wanted to do the account takeover. So a much shorter stream than normal. That's going to be great for those of you that watch this stuff back. But really, really appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And I do hate cutting you guys short for such a trivial reason, if I'm honest with you, like just to eat a steak. But my life has been crazy lately. And so a lot is gonna, I feel like I'm like teasing or something, but I don't know what the future holds. I may have to take like a very brief hiatus because I'm going to be moving soon, more than likely. Like it's very, very likely that I'll be moving in a couple months. I don't know when, which sounds crazy, but I know that I'm going to be moving. I think I've teased this already in other videos. So I want to make sure that you guys are familiar ahead of time that I may be stepping away. And so because of this chaos, I'm trying to keep my mental good, right? So, nothing trivial about a T-bone. You're damn right. Is it still? No, that is cold. We are going to go give that a little teeny tiny microwave boost. So, appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you for all the memberships. The whole chat is green right now. I love to see that, right? Thank you for the $25 super chat, Tig. That really helps me out so much. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Tomorrow night, I think we pull some shards, guys. What do you say? Do you think we pull 13 void shards tomorrow? You guys want to see that? I am not, and I'm hard committing to this. Absolutely. I'll keep your account in my list of accounts, and that way I can log into it easily tomorrow. I'll just need you to put in the code. I cannot promise you a God Seeker, unfortunately. But I'm not going to pull these voids because my floor is 120 and I'm trying to get back up to it. I've broken that rule. By the way, I think a guaranteed void is... I would not be surprised if there's a guaranteed Odin. I will say this much, though. On this account, I don't think I go for guaranteed Odin. That sounds crazy, right? But I don't think I go for guaranteed Odin on this account. I really don't. I don't know. Maybe I do, but I don't really have... a void team on this account. I mean, maybe. Void into, like, Odin into my Arbiter. And you know who I'd really like to build? Is Vitreous. In fact, I think Vitreous might be really interesting with Odin a little bit, too. All right. Either way, we're going to call this a stream. I'm going to eat my steak. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're going to pull some shards. It's not going to be a lot. is what it is. But we're gonna have some fun, right? That's all that matters. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna pull some shards on the free to play, and I'm here for it. So, when you said the club, Skydoodle, I thought you meant the new super elite club thing. I thought you got invited to this thing. Where's the news? Was it general news? Yeah, here it is. I thought you were talking about the Supreme Club. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching on Twitch now, too. Super appreciate that. Super appreciate that. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys.